a lot of these people crying about Jimmy Kimmel online, a lot of the prominent accounts, a lot of people have found the screenshots of where they gloated about Roseanne Barr getting fired or something else. And these are hypocrites. What they're basically saying is, when someone from my side of the political aisle gets fired, that's wrong. But you guys, that's fair game. Like, you've got to be consistent about this stuff, surely.
Yeah.
And that goes for the right as well. That's why I think they need to be consistent on cancel culture as well, and not go down that road where anyone who says anything that you're upset by, you get cancelled. I think that's bad. In the UK, it's worse because we have the police involved, right?
No, you guys, I think the UK is lost. I think Douglas Murray was right.
Do you know what? Well, I've left it for a reason.
Yeah.
And I do think, I don't know how much you know about or how interesting it is to Americans about the UK, but we have a body called the College of Policing. They train the police in England and Wales, but they are activists. They've been captured by activists.
I don't know why I always think the police, because do they have guns?
Yeah, well, some of them, not many.
They have like billy clubs, right?
They have truncheons.
I just don't think they're like, so it's like, I just imagine them like running around. I'm like, what does that training look like? They don't have any guns.
They use severe language. They're very disciplined. They're very tall, a lot of them.
This is why there's out of control violence in Europe right now.
But they do have some guns. A few of them have guns, but not to the extent
they've got like a rod.
Yeah, they've got a rod, but they've got, these are people who've got the power to handcuff you. Like, there was a guy.
This is why they're going after people for tweets and not Pakistani rape gangs, though.
Well, they said with the Pakistani rape gangs that they didn't want to sow community division. They were worried about. I mean, some of the stories about that are so crazy,
horrific.
I talk about it in the book because the report, there's been the J report, there's been, we now have absolute confirmation that a lot of people in power knew about it. They didn't say anything because they didn't want to be perceived as racist. They were terrified. Mm-hmm. That accusation of racism is now so powerful, it costs lives. Mm-hmm. These girls raped, sometimes killed. In the Manchester Arena bombing at the Ariana Grande concert, in the subsequent report, one of the security guards actually admitted he saw the guy with the bomb, with the rucksack, suspicious guy by himself. He didn't approach because he feared he would look racist. If he did, over 20 kids were killed because of that decision. Well, I'm not blaming him. It's because of the guy with the bomb. But what I'm saying is that fear of being called racist has massive consequences. Oh, yeah. In the grooming gang scandal, there was one story about a 13-year-old girl was found by police drunk and naked with 7 middle-aged Pakistani men, and they arrested the girl, and they didn't question the men at all about why she was there, what the circumstances were. You had parents going to the police saying, my daughter's being abused, and they're accusing these people of racism. Absolutely insane. This failure to apply the law, because the UK police have been trained to be activists. They have. Like, they won't. So, for instance, Lucy Connolly. So there's this mother of one who was a childminder. She posted a nasty tweet after the murder of those girls at the yoga class. She thought it was an asylum seeker. It wasn't, as it happens. She posted a nasty tweet saying, go and burn down the hotels for all I care, the hotels with the asylum seekers in. She served over a year in prison. She got sentenced to 31 months. She deleted that tweet within a couple of hours. She regretted it. It was never her intention to incite violence. It didn't incite violence. But then the other day, an influencer in England with over 200,000 followers, much more power, much more influence, said, kill them all, about right-wing commentators, about Charlie Kirk. Just kill them all. The police said, nothing to see here. So the police have in the UK an ideological perspective. They will prosecute and choose to prosecute people if they don't align with their views.
It seems like there was a big, Charlie Kirk, or what was that, the Robinson rally or whatever?
Tommy Robinson. That was in London. Yeah.
Yeah, so, what was that for?
Well, what's happened with Tommy Robinson is he's effectively pushed for...
Who is he?
He's a complicated figure. He was the founder of the EDL, which is the English Defence League, which was perceived by many to be a far-right racist body.
Got it.
Many years ago, though, the EDL does not exist anymore. It was many years ago. And he's been convicted of fraud and all sorts of things. So he's got a dodgy background as well. But he's also, I think quite clearly, been targeted in situations where he shouldn't be targeted by police. He's become a kind of hate figure for the left. For instance, there was one occasion a couple of years ago when he was at a march, a pro-Israel march, and the police forced him to leave with no justification whatsoever. So there's been a lot of strangeness around him. He's an ambiguous figure. I think there's no getting around that. But the majority of those people, and it could be up to 1 million people on that march in London. We don't know the exact figures because everyone makes up their own figures.
Right.
But the majority of the people there aren't even necessarily there for him. They are there to say, we are sick of this situation. We're sick of the police arresting people for tweets. It's not just about that. It's about the fact that the government doesn't listen to them. The government has ignored their concerns for so long, mostly about immigration. You know, that's what that march was about. You know, I mean, in some towns, they've been changed. They're unrecognizable. You know, we have had sexual assaults of girls because, you know, ultimately, if you import a huge number of people from a culture where women are not valued.
Yeah. Especially Western women.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's in those hotels, every asylum seeker, every refugee will break the law. Not at all. But a sizable minority have and will, because they don't value women. I mean, there was a case in Birmingham where a Muslim man had raped a 13-year-old, and he didn't get jail time because the judge said, well, you didn't understand that you weren't meant to do this because of your Islamic upbringing.
Whoa.
Now, I've quoted that in the book because people won't believe me.
Yeah.
This man said in court, I didn't think that women were any more valuable than a lollipop you dropped on the floor. And he said this in court. And the judge agreed that, you know, well, you're Islamic. How are you to know not to rape?
Wow.
How are you to know? That's a real thing. So
are you familiar with Annette Wilf?
No.
Annette Wilf. She's a Israeli writer and she's brilliant, but she calls this Westplaining.
Westplaining.
It's such a good term.
Yeah.
It's like where you're taking the Western mind and trying to apply it to like a completely different culture and excusing and making justifications for it from the Western point of view.
It's so patronizing and kind of racist. Like not to hold people to the same standards because you think they couldn't possibly know better. That to me is the kind of height of racism as far as I can see.
But you're also saying that you have no desire or expectation that you integrate.
Right.
You're in that statement. You're saying, okay, you didn't know better, and we don't expect you to know better.
Yeah.
But if you're moving as somebody to a culture, I think there should be some expectation that you're going to integrate in that society.
It should be a condition of citizenship, right? I mean, quite clearly, that shouldn't be a controversial thing to say.
No.
And nor should it be controversial to say that some cultures have certain moral standards that are worse than others, right?
Yeah.
I'm perfectly content saying that a culture that believes that young girls should be genitally mutilated and thinks that women are nowhere near as important as men or should be not valued as men.
Are you talking about the left?
Yeah, right. Or that gay people should be thrown off buildings.
You should be talking about the far left right now.
Right, exactly. I have no problem saying that culture is worse, right? If you're saying that, you know, these queers for Palestine, I'm sorry, okay, just go there. Go to Palestine, have your little pride march. See how quickly, I'm sure Hamas would join you, wouldn't they? They'd bring their flags. They'd be like, yeah, we're well up for this. What are you doing? I mean, it's such a luxury belief. Like we saw this, there was a trans rights protest in London recently, and one of the people on the platform was shouting, trans rights. What did he say? One struggle, one fight, Palestine, trans rights. I'm like, you don't know Hamas, do you?
No.
You don't know what you're saying here. That to me is mind blowing. That the cognitive dissonance there is it, but it's almost like a kind of fetishizing of other cultures.
Yeah.
It's almost like this idea that anyone on their hierarchy of oppression can do no wrong. Which is the most patronizing attitude conceivable as far as I can see.
And it still weirdly puts them at the top.
Well, it's a power grab, right?
Because it's like, oh, we need to feel bad for all these other sadder cultures that don't understand things.
Yeah.
It's like a very strange inversion that happens where it still makes you supreme to another culture.
So much of this is about power, though.
Yeah.
There's something so powerful about saying that you're standing up for the victim, that you're the hero, you're the savior. I mean, it's like crowning yourself with your own halo. Like the sense of power you get from that, lording it over other people. I mean, that's partly it, I guess. I reckon a lot of them do think they're doing good. I do think
I think they do.
They have blinkers on. They don't really understand these cultures that they're protecting, you know?
Not at all.
You know, like
not at all. I want them all to go there.
That's it.
I mean, I remember when I was in Egypt, I've been to India.
Yeah.
It was like the women would like huddle around me when I was on the bus in India because they knew the men will just try and like grab, snipe and grab, and like they travel in gangs. It's very intimidating. It's
and that's it's worth really emphasizing. Like a race essentialist would say, or a racist would say, that's because they're all like animals and that's the way they are naturally. Whereas if you're being realistic about this, it's about culture.
It's just culture.
Like if, it is not a controversial thing to say that a man is not more innately likely to be a rapist if they're born in Pakistan over Scotland. But if they're raised in that culture where women are demeaned and degraded, of course they're more likely to be a rapist.
I remember I talked to a lot of young men when I was in India, and this was during like the woman who got raped on the bus, that famous horrific story. And then there was a couple of Swedish bikers, and
I remember that
I was there in India. My dad got a freaking like bleeding ulcer when I was there because he was like, "Please come home." And I would talk to the men when I was in like Kerala. I was staying on the West Coast, and the young guys, I would be reading the paper, and it's like they really were like, well, yeah, I mean, if a woman's out after dark, she's asking for rape.
Wow.
Like they did, and this was young men, so it wasn't like this. Because I had thought, oh, this is just old world, and it will be something that maybe this culture grows out of a bit as the globalization effect kind of takes over. And there's a little bit of it, but a lot of it was still just, they were like, well, yeah, of course you want to be raped if you're out late and you're a woman.
I mean, this idea that
like they were like, what is wrong with you?
Why do people ignore that though? Why do people ignore the overt cultural distinctions that are just I mean, like in the UK, we have 85, I think roughly 85 Sharia courts, right? Now there's a parallel legal system, right?
Wow.
Now people will say, well, they don't have actual legal power, but they do settle disputes within Islamic communities. And if you're a woman, you get the short shrift there. You don't get a good deal with that. That shouldn't happen in the UK. You should have one system of law. Those should be abolished overnight.
That's crazy. No, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah. But people, and you have Muslim feminists saying, can you please look out for us and get rid of these courts, right? But people won't do it. And
that's like Yasmin Mohammed's fight.
Exactly. And what's really annoying about that is these sort of leftists who claim to be pro women's rights, pro equality.
No, they don't give a shit.
They don't. What they're saying is we don't care about Muslim women.
No.
We care about white women. We don't care about Muslim women.
But they don't care about white women either.
No, they don't. That's true.
If they're of a low class and getting raped by Pakistani rape gangs.
Well, they see them as an acceptable cost for multiculturalism, apparently. Like it really does astonish me, the level of willful blindness. I think they are deliberately, anything that comes along that disrupts their narrative, they just block out. They pretend it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, why don't they just address the reality of what's going on? And sometimes those realities are going to be uncomfortable, but that's what living in a society means. You deal with the difficulties.
Yeah.
Like this utopian nonsense that absolutely everyone in the world wants freedom. You can just delete borders, just a robot. It's fine. Everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants democracy. Didn't work out in Sweden, did it? They had a complete open border policy, right? And now Sweden has Islamic gangs. It has the highest rate of gun and bomb attacks of any country not at war, with the exception of Mexico.
Wow.
And just 15 years ago, Sweden was one of the most peaceful, low crime rate countries.
Have they changed that policy?
Well, they've now, just 2 years ago, elected a right-wing government. Why do you think that is? I went over to Sweden because a few of my books got translated into Swedish, and I went over for a book launch. And it was one of those, you know what Swedish people are like? They're so sweet and liberal and kind and and all the rest of it and polite. And I was mingling with all these very nice liberal middle-class Swedes, and they all wanted to talk about the immigration thing.
Wow.
And they were all saying the same thing. One woman said to me, we got it wrong. And I saw in her eyes this horror of what they'd done. We got it wrong. They just thought, let everyone come in. Don't even ask them to assimilate. Let them have their own little areas.
And they'll want to.
Yeah, let grown men pretend that they're kids and sit in a classroom. Don't ask them to learn the language. Don't do anything of this, and it's all going to be fine. No, there's grenade attacks on main streets in Stockholm. And I remember I had a friend of mine in the early days that this was happening, a Swedish stand-up comic, called Tobias Pearson, and he sent me a message. I don't mind naming because I'm quoted him in the book. He sent, and he said it was okay. He sent me a message saying there are gun attack. Like, he's a lefty, liberal, not a shred of racism in him at all. He's like, but there are gun attacks every day. There are bomb attacks every day, and this is because our left-wing government is just trying to pretend it's not a thing.
Right.
So now, of course, the population is swinging right. But if any government, left or right, just applied the basic liberal principle, which is that equality under the law, everyone gets treated the same. You don't get special rules because your skin color or anything, or your
religion,
nothing like that. Just apply the law, then it kind of be okay. Like, even the immigration issue, if it was a condition of that integration was part of that, you wouldn't have this issue.